Okay. All right. I do apologize for that. I didn't know I was muted all this while. So I'm going to retake everything I've been saying. So thanks for joining me right now. I didn't know my microphone was switched off. So it's good to be back. All right. My name is Ray Frederick, and you are joining us live on City Report Media Chats. It's a special edition titled The June 12th Struggle. Today is Democracy Day in Nigeria, set aside by the federal government during the tenure of late President Muhammadu Buhari, when he declared June 12th as the official date for democracy celebration in Nigeria. Today, Nigerians across the country reflect on the democratic gains, challenges, and the way forward for the country continuous existence. 27 years down the line, the president this morning gave a broadcast where he highlighted some key issues concerning Nigerian democracy. This program was supposed to have some people join me via Zoom, but for reasons best known to them, though I have some complaint like battery low and the rest of them, we're talking about democracy and electricity. Some places you don't have electricity. As I speak to you now, there is no NEPA electricity. How I'm managing to be on set with you is through solar. So you can see what Nigerians are going through. Nigerians have resorted to providing their own power for themselves. Okay, so if you are interested in being part of this conversation this morning, you can go to my page, Prayer Frederick. You can, Frederick Prayer, you can see, go through my timeline. You see the link for the Zoom meeting. You can join this meeting with that link. Then we'll have a robust conversation. Then also, you can go to City Report page. You see the link there, and you can join this conversation. But let me take this broadcast of the president, some key highlights of the broadcast of the president, then we'll start conversation from there. So key points from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, June 12, 2026 Democracy Day broadcast. Number one, he talked about celebration of 27 years of democracy. President Tinubu described Nigeria's 27 years of uninterrupted democratic governance as the country's longest democratic experience. He praises Nigerians for sustaining democracy since 1999. Now, the president acknowledged the fact that the country has been on this path for 27 years, uninterrupted, and it happens to be the longest in the country's history. For the past 27 years, the country is being governed by civilian government. And the president praised Nigerians for sustaining democracy since 1999. Now, if you have any reason to react to what I'm saying, like I said, you can join the link. Go to my page, Frederick Prier. You see the Zoom link. You can join this conversation to make your inputs. Or you go to the City Report page. You join through the City Report. You can see the link there too, so you can join. Then number two, tributes to June 12 heroes. He honored the sacrifices of Chief MKO Abiola, who happened to be the key player of this June 12 struggle. Kudirat Abiola happens to be the late proposed winner wife. Both are late, and other pro-democracy activists who fought against military rule. Several democracy activists, journalists, civil society leaders, and political figures received national honors. So the president used this opportunity during his broadcast to acknowledge the role these people play. And MKO Abiola and his wife happened to be the key players because the whole June 12 is centered around MKO Abiola. Defense of economic reforms. The president used the broadcast to defend his 3 years economic reform in the country. The president defended his administration's economic policies, including the removal of fuel subsidy and foreign exchange reforms. He maintained that although the reforms have been difficult, they are necessary to rebuild Nigeria's economy for long-term prosperity. So the president in his broadcast defended his economic policies, like I said, the removal of subsidy and the unifying of the exchange rates. Now, when you talk about the removal of subsidy, a lot of Nigerians have their views about what the president did. I don't if they agreed with the president or not. Then the exchange rates, a lot of people have said that before this government, we have multiple exchange rates. You have the black markets, you have the conventional markets where the banks give their rates. But today, everything seems to be unified. But do you agree with the policies of the present government on that? That the exchange rate is unified? Are there differences? And a lot of people say the dollar rate is more higher today than before. If you have done international transaction, I'm sure you may have some reservation concerning this. Either you support the president or you're against the president. But I can tell you for a fact that the exchange rate today is normalized. Though the price of goods and services may be very expensive out there, but for those of us who were into online transaction, will tell you for free that it's better today, that you know that you're paying 1,800 or 1,500 or 1,400 or 1,300 than you're paying 2,000 for a dollar of four 1,000 for 450. That's what they will tell you. But to get that dollar, you have to spend 2,000 naira to get that dollar. I can tell you for free because I get my gadgets from online. So at times you have to go through the bank to get dollar to purchase some of your equipment, but you're not seeing the dollar. You have to go through some other softwares to do that. And I lost a lot of money during late President Mohamed Buhari because there are some gadgets I needed to buy and I have to go through the cheapest app. You have to go through cheapest app. You do exchange rates. Cheapest app will tell you that the exchange rate is 1,000. Then you convert your 1,000 to dollar. Now you are trying to use that dollar you have converted to buy something. You're not going to get it for the dollar that you have changed. Cheapest app will be collecting like $2 in exchange of $1 for you, and that's about 2,000 naira. So when you look at back then, those of us that are into online purchase will tell you that things are far better now when it comes to the dollar than then. So on this one, I think I agree with the president on the exchange rates, and I think he did very well. Though the timing may be the issue, because a lot of people will say timing is a problem. He didn't make any, like, what do I say? The president did not, as in, put things in place to cushion the effect of these policies. It should have been a process, not like you just come out rightly and just disband everything. What the president should have done is to set up stages, time frame, that at some point we'll transit, we'll migrate to this point. At some time we'll transition to this point. But doing everything automatically is where a lot of people have issues with the president. If you have some issue with what I'm saying, you can join the link. The link is on my Facebook, Frederick Brie. Just go there, check my profile, my status. You'll see the Zoom link. You can join if you want to contribute to this conversation. Okay, we talked about the defense of the economy. So commitment to national security. The president in his broadcast acknowledged the country's security challenges and stated that democracy cannot thrive, aimed insecurity. Okay. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu acknowledged the country's security challenges and stated that democracy cannot thrive amid, amid insecurity. Now, we all know the current state of the nation when it comes to security, insecurity across the country. Even right in your home, you're not even sure of yourself because someone can just bang into your house and the next thing you are being kidnapped. Okay, I have Mr. Chabanya joining me. Good morning, Mr. Chabanya. Okay, if you can hear me, Mr. Chabanya, unmute yourself if you can hear me. So while I'm waiting for Mr. Chabanya to come up, let me continue from here. So that's on security, call for national unity. Mr. Chabanya, okay, good morning. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, unmute yourself. All right. Okay. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, it's good to have you. Happy Democracy Day.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
You're looking good. Not seen you for like 2 years now.
Is it up to 2 years?
I can't really tell, but it's been
Okay.
long.
Mm.
It's good to have you on set.
Thank you very
I
much.
don't know if you were following me on Facebook. I was just doing a review of what the present broadcast was like this morning.
Okay.
Okay, I'm expecting more people to join because it's an open
I was
meeting.
engaged with some activities.
Okay, so let me continue from here, then we can have our conversation. Like I said, I was going through the present broker, some key areas he talked about. He talked about the celebration of democracy in the country for the past 27 years. He also talked about, which he acknowledged the effort of Nigerians and the heroes, those who played a critical role in this. Then some awards were given to some distinguished Nigerians. Then we talked about defense of the economy. The president defended this removal of subsidy. He also defended the exchange rates currently, and also commitment to national security. The president acknowledged the fact that the country is going through a lot as a country when it comes to insecurity. But he called for all Nigerians to support. He said, though we may disagree, you may criticize him, you may disagree with him, but we all have to be united to fight insecurity in the country. Then he moved on to call for national unity. I think that's where he said that collective effort from all citizens. Support for democratic institutions. The president talked about the media, the judiciary, and the other arms of the government to all work together to institutionalize the democratic principles. Then support for, okay, encouragement of constructive criticism. I've talked about that, where he said we can all disagree, can disagree with him, but let's join hands to make the country great. Appeal to Nigerian youths. Tinubu encouraged young Nigerians to remain hopeful and actively participate in nation building. He urged them to channel their energy and talent toward developing the country. Renewed commitment to good governance. Okay, I don't know if you listen to the president. I can go on and on, but let's start from here. Did you listen to the president's speech this morning, or you've gone through it? I know you may be busy.
Seriously, I did not. The issue of Nigeria. We don't have the issue of light,
Hmm.
so I
Yeah, go
couldn't
on.
have time to listen to his Democracy Day speech. But I picked some points from the social media where he talked about fighting the insurgency, and he warned them to desist from that activities. If not, the government are coming for them. That I know that he sent a strong warning to them.
I saw someone, but should I allow you continue, or I can just pick it from what you just said now?
And you can continue.
Okay, like the president, like you said, the president giving warning to bandits and terrorists to surrender or receive the full weight of the security agents. Are we supposed to be having that conversation now, or we should be having action?
I don't think the president need to start telling them to stop what they are doing. We need action. Action. You don't need to start. Are you begging them to stop what they are doing? You have all the armies. You have all the arsenals with you. So why can't you just go after them and do the needful? We know where these people are. Oh, they are all on social media, TikTok, Instagram, displaying their bad act there. Why can't we trace these people to where they are and just do the needful? Sitting down talking about it will not solve the issue. It makes them to feel more important. But doing it without even saying it will carry more weight. Imagine now you're talking on the media that the bandits should do this, should stop from that activities. They they tend to have more power. But just you have, oh my God, I'm short of words. With all the armies, with all that we have in this country, we are still experiencing this issue of insecurity. It's increasing every day, every minute, every hour. People are being kidnapped from their houses. You're traveling, you're not free. So it's disheartening. It's uncalled for. So the government need to wake up. Stop talking, do the work. Action.
So do we have like a government? There is this famous quote that people always say whenever they talk about insecurity in Nigeria, that the late former head of state, General, this thing, what's that his name again? Abacha,
Yeah.
talked about that when insecurity is subsist more than 24 hours, then someone in government or the government is complice. Someone in government is a collaborator. Do you buy that idea?
Definitely, definitely. When there is breakout in insecurity, 24 hours, 48 hours, and the government cannot be able to find solution into that, then we should start asking questions. What is the government doing?
But
It is
what we
their
have now
duty.
is a security situation that has taken almost like 10 years.
Yes, more than
So
10 years. More than 10 years. So
what
what are
are
the
our
government doing?
challenges? What are the challenges? Why can't we deal with the issue of insecurity?
Pray, let me tell you the truth. This is a political issue. It's political, the insecurity that we're facing in this country. It's not just a mere problem. Our politicians know about it. They know what is happening. They know the main problem. If they want to solve security in Nigeria, 1 week is enough for these bandits, in all this insurgency to be cleared out. But they just don't want to do the needful. That is why I said it is a political motivated act. Ask yourself this question.
Okay,
Whenever
go.
it is time for election, that is when the insecurity increases in this country. Kidnappings everywhere, because someone somewhere is trying to create an environment for himself.
So what can we do to solve this? Because why should we be playing politics with the lives of innocent Nigerians? The former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, said his ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. Why? Why do we have politicians playing politics with the lives of Nigerians?
That is what I'm saying. Power, power is very sweet. When you have money, the next thing that you'll be looking for is power. When you have wealth, the next thing is power. You want people to know you everywhere. So these people, they are not after securing the life and property of Nigerians. They are after creating power for themselves. They are after gathering more wealth for their family that are yet unborn. So they are not after helping the society. Look at what is happening in Oyo. Look at in Oyo, school children being kidnapped in their school, the teachers, and they are still there, and our leaders are celebrating with their families. They don't care. They are busy placing posters of their campaign, whatever, everywhere, and nobody is saying anything about it.
So let's look at democracy in general, because we're talking about 27 years of uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria. So from your description of democracy, you're a journalist by profession, and I'm sure you did political science to some extent, and you know the definition of democracy. What is democracy to you?
What we are practicing in Nigeria is not democracy. You mentioned that, okay, they are mentioning, and that is what is flying on the media now, that is it 22 or 21 years of uninterrupted democracy?
27 years.
27 years of uninterrupted democracy. What is uninterrupted? Let us look at this word very well. Uninterrupted. Is it only when the military interrupt that we say the democracy has been interrupted? The people are suffering. The people are not, some don't even have food to eat. Is that democracy? People yearn for democracy because they know democracy is for the people, it's for the masses. Politics start from the local community. So as far as I'm concerned, democracy has been interrupted because what the people wanted is not what they are benefiting. So the democracy that we wanted has been interrupted. It doesn't mean that the military must come in power before we say that democracy has been interrupted. What the masses need to be
when you hear Nigerian politicians speak, they tell you the dividends of democracy is good road, good water, good education, good lights. Are these the dividends of democracy?
They are supposed to be dividend. Do we have good roads? Do we have light? In 24 hours, we barely see light for 4 hours.
As I speak to you, I'm on solar.
Yes. I had to use solar to watch the World Cup yesterday. Because there's no light.
But NEPA will still come and collect the bill for those that are not onto prepaid.
That is it. So for me, democracy has been interrupted. When you don't have good road, you don't have light, the basic amenities are not there.
But you get all these things even in military or authoritarian form of government.
Yes.
So what makes it now unique to democracy?
This is not democracy. This is democracy. This is how will I put it? Democracy. Democracy. Yes.
Okay, but when we talk about the tenets of democracy, we're talking about rule of law, we're talking about freedom of speech, we're talking about free press, and a lot security. Like security is the first call of the government, and we've talked a bit on that. But let's look at the rule of law, because there's no democracy if there's no rule of law. How will we assess 27 years of democracy in Nigeria? We may not go down the lane from previous government, but let's just focus on this current administration, 3 years of this government, then we can compare with the last government. How can you assess the rule of law under this current administration and maybe with the past two governments? You can even still go as far as you want to go back to Yaradua, Goodluck, and Obasanjo.
One thing with this country, whenever it's time for election, you feel as if the incoming government are the one that will come and rescue us from all these things that are happening. But the reverse is the case. We continue saying, the previous government have done better than the present government. Now that we're coming into 2027 general election, this government have not seen anything good that has happened in this government. How much are we buying gas now? JC, 1 kg of gas now is in.
You said how much in your place? Hello? Oh, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
it
can't hear
seems
you.
your network is fluctuating.
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. So, the rule of law in this country for the past 3 years in this administration of President Amebola Tinubu, there's nothing like rule of law. We know those that have tampered with our economy.
But when you say there's nothing like rule of law under this government, why do you say so?
Premier and you, we know all these things. We know what is happening in this country. If there is rule of law,
I just want you to
by
give
now,
us some examples for you to come up with that.
If there is law is the key word in this. Do we have law in this country? Is there law that is guiding us in this country?
The last time I checked, we have the 1999 Constitution.
We have it as a document, but it's not functioning.
Some people may not agree with you on that.
They might not agree with me, but that is the fact. That is the fact. The former governor of Kaduna State. Let me give you an instance. The former governor of Kaduna State, Ramalan Yero, he was a deputy governor to later Yakowa. When Yakowa died, he took over as the governor of Kaduna State. He cannot point out one single project that he did. He looted money to the extent that he was arraigned. EFCC arraigned him. He held the placard. He was found guilty. But now, as we speak, Ramalan Yero is he contested for he's contesting for the Senate in Zone A, and he won under APC. He won the primary.
All right, seems to be having network challenge with Mr. Chabanya Kantiel. But until he comes back, I'll continue from. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's happening to your network? It's part of the democracy.
It's part of the democracy. That is Nigeria for you. That is Nigeria for you. That is why South Africans are doing to us the way they like, because they know that our government are not being sincere.
It's a very terrible one, looking at what is happening in South Africa. But I think we'll come to that let's just finish business back home. So the president defended his economic policies. I think I'm getting a holdback. I don't know what's happening from your end, why I'm having a holdback. So the president defended his economic policies by removing subsidy, and I know your stand on that. Then talk about the unification of the currency. What's your take on the president? He said these are necessary steps to take for the removal of subsidy and unifying the exchange rates. Before you go to the subsidy, I want you to do that of the exchange rate. Do you agree with the exchange rate to the current state it is now?
Can you your question again?
You didn't get me. Okay.
Yes, I didn't get your question.
I said the president. I'm getting a holdback. I don't know if I should use earpiece now. The president defended his economic policies that those were necessary steps to take to unify the currency, like the dollar and naira rate. Then also with the removal of subsidy. So what's your take on the president's defense?
I know we've discussed about this subsidy when the government came to power. We discussed this with you, and that very day I told you that this is the biggest mistake that the president did. It was too early for him to remove subsidy. It was too early, and now after 3 years, we are seeing the effect of that, because I have not seen any tangible project that we can beat our chest and say that the
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yeah, the network. I'm having a network issues here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But it seems to be frozen at the point.
The network is fluctuating.
Sorry about that. You can go on.
Okay. So the issue of subsidy, it has hit back at the economy, or to the economy, if I may say, though the government know the reason why they did that. Maybe it will be is for their own advantage, because if you look at it very well, after removing that fuel subsidy, the next thing was to make sure that all political parties were their powers were reduced. So the APC used their financial power to drag big shots to the APC. So coming back to the dollar and naira issue. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. So coming back to the dollar naira, the president said he wants to make sure that is it that the dollar and the naira put in the same level
we
of
have, we have multiple dollar exchange rates. You go to the black market, you have 7,000, 700, you have 600 like that. But when he came in, he unified it that if you can get it from the conventional market, you should get it from the black market the same price. So the naira was allowed to fight for himself.
So today, what is the rate? What is the exchange rate today?
It should be between 1.4. I think it should be less than 1.5.
Less than 1.5. When the government came in, I think dollar was around 1,100, 1,200. At some point, it even dropped to, if I'm not mistaken, to 900 per dollar. But the naira, the dollar is still fighting against the naira.
But let me tell you something. Before this government came in, on paper, officially, dollar was 415 naira.
Good.
On paper. But when you go to get that dollar, you'll be getting it for more than 1,000 naira. That's the black market.
Yes.
And you still can't buy things online because the former president had to block all sorts of transactions. And a lot of us resorted to using cheapest app. My brother, you spend like 2,000 naira to get $1. I can say that for a fact. Because you know our profession, we get our gadget mostly from the international market. So you order for microphone, you order for camera, and you have to pay like 2,000 naira to $1. You have to convert that money. You send your naira into cheapest app. Maybe you want to buy something of 10,000 naira. You have to pay with like 30,000-40,000 naira to exchange to. It was that bad under Buhari government. But as we speak today now, if it's 1,400, you get it for 1,400.
So are you trying to say that the government in this aspect, they have done well?
From my perspective, I'll say it's better because let's not have on paper that is 415 naira, but when I go to get it, I'll get it for 2,000 naira. Who is deceiving me? Because somebody is smiling to the bank because what they used to do, the CBN sell to the forest market at 450. But they don't sell that price. They keep this money to themselves. They don't even use it. And Nigerians still go. You that don't have access to CBN, you still go and get it for 2,000 naira. And a lot of these people became billionaires because they distribute it among their political friends. They just give you allocation, so amount of dollars to sell to the black market. They don't sell it. They don't sell it for that price to people that want to use it. They don't sell it to their friends at a more higher rate. They make their own money, and their friends increase the money. So that was what was happening before this government came. Now, I think the problem Nigerians are having is the fact that things are expensive because now you know that $1 is 1.415, but then from your ear you are hearing 450, but it was not 415.
I'm not that conversant with
because I was into buying online. I know what I went through. I wish Caleb was here. He confirm that to me. I had to open a dollar account with GTB because of that reason. When Buhari blocked all the before you can just buy with your account. So now you have to have a dollar account. And after we got the account, you can still get the dollar to buy directly.
Yeah.
We're still going through cheaper. It was terrible.
But the whole day
now from your OPay, I'm sure online you can buy things now. You just put your doing business is far better now. I'm not supposed to be saying this, but we are media. We have to say the truth. It may be expensive, but when you look at the means of doing business currently today, by international transaction, it's much easier than under Buhari.
Yes, it's much easier, but things are expensive.
Things are expensive. That's the point Nigerians are complaining about. That the removal of subsidy. Now look at what happened. The cry of Nigerians is that before, like you said in our previous conversation 3 years ago, when this government came in, said who does that? Who removes subsidy on the day of resumption? You did not sit with your cabinet. You did not discuss anybody. You just said without any plan. I think that's where a lot of people are concerned with this government. That the president did not do well. There should there have been some stages of implementation before outrightly removing the subsidy totally. And you said now too that since removal of subsidy 3 years down the line, there's really nothing to show for it. Why? Because by the time you remove subsidy, the price of goods and services went up. You now allow the naira to flow to fight for itself again. And instead of making progress, the people are now the bearer of the brunt because there is no government policy to mitigate with the effect of what is happening. So I think that's where you stand on this matter. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think that's where you stand on this matter.
Pardon?
I said, with what I said, I think that's where you stand on this issue of the removal of subsidy,
Yes,
the
yes,
timing and the planning, and that's why Nigerians are not really seeing what this government has done. So
yes.
that's on the economy. So governance is for the people, and when the people don't feel what you are doing, it seems you are not doing anything because people
Yes.
are dying and you say you're working. The people are saying, who are you working for? Is it for dead bodies?
When you look at the local farmers now, let me go to that aspect. A bag of maize now is selling at the rate of 25, 26, 27,000 naira. How much is a bag of fertilizer? A bag of fertilizer is selling some 30 something. It depends on the company. Some 40, there's even 45, 50. And a bag of maize is 20 something naira. So the farmers are saying, bring down the price of this fertilizer so that everybody can be able to afford and get it. If a bag of fertilizer is sold around, let's say 20,000 naira or 15,000 naira, and the bag of maize is sold at the rate of 25, 27, at least the farmer can farm at the end of the day. After harvest, he can smile to the market. He can smile to the market. A bag of fertilizer cannot give you 5 bags of maize. So when you do that, you're running at loss. That is why farmers now they are going back to crops that don't really demand much fertilizers, like the soybeans and other crops. So when you're working for people, let the people feel the impact. We know after petroleum, agriculture is one of our biggest assets in Nigeria. So why can't we embrace it? Why can't we give it that needed support that it needs? The
Let's
first
talk
thing that
about the health sector. The impact of the removal of subsidy affects almost everything currently. Look at the health sector,
everything.
the cost of drugs, people going through a lot cannot afford their medication, and you see doctors going on strike now and then. And we're talking about
I
the
see some
dividends
of
of
them fleeing
democracy.
out of the country.
So it is a very dicey one for Nigerians currently. So 27 years down the line, we are looking at June 12th, the sacrifices of our heroes past to get us democracy 27 years down the line. Are you happy with the situation? Is Nigeria working for you or is Nigeria working for others? If you want to be part of this conversation, you can go to my Facebook page, Frederick Prier. You'll see the link to be part of this Zoom where you can contribute live. But if you want to view, you can make your comments. Let us know what you feel. You can ask your questions from our Facebook page. So wherever you're watching from, you can drop your question. Maybe we'll get it and we'll read it and answer you. So, Mr. Chabanya, let's look at the situation in South Africa currently. We're talking about democracy 27 years. And Nigerians, no matter what you do, there are people that will not stay in the country because some people will actually go out to look for either to explore or to look for something they feel their life is somewhere. But we are in a situation where across the world, Nigeria seems to be like the rejected people. Like everywhere you find Nigerians, they're like, we don't want you people here anymore. So it's like it's not safe to be a Nigerian. The way they look down on you when you go out there. Look at what is happening in South Africa. Going around molesting Nigerians, asking them to leave the country, that they are responsible for all the crimes in South Africa. What's your take on the current situation of Nigerians across the globe, especially in South Africa?
What is happening today, this issue of South Africa, Nigeria, not only Nigeria, other African countries that have their citizens in South Africa, but Nigeria is the most affected country when it comes to this issue. When your country is working well, when things are moving well, yes, we know. No matter how good your country, the country is, you must find some people going out to other countries based on their own what they want and what they are going there to do. When things are working well in your country, I don't think you would think of leaving your country to another country. But today, I'm telling you today, that if there's an opportunity for people to travel out of this country. 80% of citizens will leave Nigeria. Not because the economy is bad, but because of even the insecurity that is going on. I love Nigerians. They are resilient people. They have this doggedness on them. But when you're trying to do your best and the government did not provide that security for you, all what the citizens are yearning for is what? Security. Just give them security. Other things will fall naturally. Other things will fall in line naturally. I know so many people that leave this country because of insecurity. Once a member of your family is being kidnapped, is taken, you will end up selling your properties because you want to pay for ransom. So South Africans should I say, they are trying to protect their country, but they are doing it in the wrong way. I was watching on News Central yesterday about 500 Nigerians returned to Nigeria because of what is happening in South Africa. A man was
So
interviewed.
at
He
this
married.
point,
He married.
what should the African Union do? Because it seems this is getting out of hand, and the South African government is not saying anything concerning this. I see this as a failure of the government in South Africa, where citizens come out to outrightly chase foreigners out of their country. And you see the lawlessness, you see the security officers going about as if it seems to be like a cultural agreement that this is what we want to happen. Is it that the government in South Africa is afraid of the political damage that it will do to their political ambition if they go after the citizens, that this is not the right way to go? We have a government in place, allow the government to deal with this. Why is the government not saying anything? South Africa and African countries, African leaders are not speaking up. But at this point, shouldn't the South African be sanctioned for what is happening?
You have said it all. Let me start from here. The government of South Africa, they know what is happening. They are afraid. Everybody is trying to protect his own interests going forward. They don't want the citizen to fall back on them. They don't want anything that will cost them their positions.
Mm.
So they are backing their citizens to some extent in hidden, because there is no way things will be happening in a country like that and the president is aware and he's keeping quiet. That means he's in support of all that is happening. At some
So
point, he
why is
disturbs.
African Union not speaking up? Why the presidents of other countries not like a reprisal, like giving them back to back, like what they are giving others? There seems to be no diplomatic conversation on this.
Who is the president of African Union?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it should be the president of Nigeria. Or maybe step
Simple.
down for someone
He's
else.
the president of Nigeria. When your
Mm.
house is not in order, you cannot go and start saying that you want to settle someone's in his own house. So it must start from you as a president of the African Union. What are you doing in your own country? If you're not doing well in your country, how can you call?
When I see Nigerians like coming back, a lot of people, when you read the comment sections of the Facebook and S and the rest of them, you see people saying, should we tell them? Yeah, and when they say should we tell them, you understand where they are going. That someone said from frying pan to fire.
To
Coming back
fire?
home
Yes.
should be like coming home. But it seems like, are you aware that we're having security back home? Running from South Africa to come back home, are you safe?
But they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice than to come back because they are not accepted there. That is not their country. They don't have citizenship there. So they must come back. It is, South Africans they are, one man was interviewed, he said, for the past 15 years, he has been pursuing to get his um,
Papers.
citizenship,
Mm.
but it was not granted. It was not granted. He married a South African. His children are there. Now he left his children and the wife in South Africa. Now he's back to Nigeria.
That he has to save his life first before dragging children.
Yes, his life first before the children, yes. Because you are living for them. If you're not there, they will still live.
Now, let's look at the economic implication this will do to Africa, especially South Africa. They claim that the foreigners are taking their jobs. Is it like these foreigners, when you go out, when you see them around across the streets, going out, interrogating these foreigners own big shops, they own big businesses, and you see people working there. And I'm sure those working in those establishments are not all foreigners. They have the locals working there. And now you're asking them to leave. Every country talks about direct investments, and these are ways you get direct investment into your country. And now you are asking people to pull out their resources out of your economy. What will this do to the South African economy on the long run? Will South Africa bounce back, or is going to further cause more harm to their economy?
Naturally, we know South Africans to be lazy. They are lazy people. So this saying that Nigerians have taken their jobs, how? All those that you see coming back, they have their own business there. They went there, they settle, and they now, it's not that they are working directly with the government. They are on their own, doing their business, earning their own pay. But the South Africans are saying that they took over from them. We all know that all these things that is happening is okay. My brother he's doing well, and I'm not doing well. And this thing that is benefiting is we're all supposed to benefit together. Like I said earlier, South Africans are lazy. So pushing these people out of their country, definitely it will affect the economy. I saw one picture going viral on Facebook. A South African man frying a corn. I don't know whether you saw that picture.
Could be AI.
Roasting. It's not AI. That picture is real. He's roasting a corn. Corn. Are you getting it? That
Mm.
corn burned. Everything is black.
Mm.
Are you getting it? So someone said that this is somebody that said Nigerians should leave their country, that they
Nigerians
are
are
taking
taking
their
their
job. Now they
jobs.
cannot do the job. I getting it. Now they cannot do the job. So their economy will be affected seriously.
But at this
But
point,
at this point,
is there a way of remedy? Can this situation be remedied in for South Africa? Because this is going to be, like you said, it's going to affect their economy. Is there a way for the government to come in, other African countries working with South Africa, and allow people that are doing business in those countries to continue to do their businesses? Because this thing we're talking about, it goes beyond just the economic aspect of it. Like you said, of a man who left his family to return home. There are children now that are displaced from their parents, either a South African father or a South African mother. So psychologically, emotionally, a lot is going to be happening. And whether we like it or not, a lot of our brothers and sisters are married to South Africans. They are giving birth. So they are part of that country. Whatever way you look at it, they have kids there who are South Africans.
I don't think the reason why the outside world is watching and keeping quiet. Let me say the is it no African Union.
Mm.
This South Africa will be hit back. This thing will affect them seriously in the nearest future because South Africa got her independent 1992, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Around 1992, 1994.
Yes. So the economy of South Africa was already balanced. The white people balanced that economy very well. They have all the infrastructure. Are you getting it?
Mm.
Before they gain independent. So everything was working well for them. That is why their youth are very lazy. The only thing that they do is drugs and music and dance, live a stupid life. So coming
Would
back,
that not be like generalizing it? Because I'm sure they're hardworking South Africans.
they have what they do. They have those that are working definitely. But if you look at the numbers, we're looking at the numbers now. I was
Okay, but
watching on.
let's not forget something. The like you said, the foreign, like the whites, when ruling South Africa before independence, they structured the country, they built everything to favor the whites. And if you did history in school, we know why they did what they did, because South Africa was like a prototype, like a sample of a foreign country in Africa. So it was like
Yes,
if it was possible to evacuate all the blacks from South Africa and make a white country in Africa, that was what South Africa was supposed to be like. So now,
yes.
I'm sure over the years, during this period of apartheid and the fights and all the rest of them, these youths were not properly trained, they were not empowered, they were not educated enough to be resourceful to themselves. So would that not be that they are now calling that we are not being carried along in our economy? This is our country. We cannot be strangers in our own land. We cannot be unempowered in our own country.
Why? How did Nigerians got to settle in South Africa? Were they empowered? Because they know where they're coming from
Hmm.
and they know where they're going. That is why when they
And
settle, they
somebody in
make sure.
Nigeria may have been, has been empowered now somehow. So he goes there, he has an edge. when it comes to knowledge. Maybe he has skill, so he can easily fit in. But the locals, they're just like in a place, you're in a village, you are there to work, you are educated, but the youth that wants to do your job does not even have a school cert.
Yes. The point I'm trying to point out here is you don't need to wait for the government to empower you. Your country has already been built.
I
Okay?
think I would disagree with you to some extent, but go on.
Your country the economy of your country at that point was already booming. What are you supposed to do? Things will not continue like that. So you're supposed to find something for yourself. That is why I said, when some of the Nigerians that are now back home, they went there, I don't think they have something good before going there. But going there, they saw that if I start this, if I do this, I'm going to be part of the economy. And they took that advantage. There are plenty businesses in South Africa if you're in South Africa. But them there, they are not seeing it. I just give you an instance of someone who took up the business of roasting a corn. But he couldn't.
Of all the big shops and everything they are doing, is the corn on that.
That picture tells big stories.
And I
Are
said
you
it
getting?
could be AI. Maybe we need to, maybe after this show, there's a way
I
to
will send you
detect
the picture. It's
AI.
not AI.
So
This is the real
I saw
picture.
that picture.
It's a real
So
picture.
I will do an integrity test on it.
And some of the shops, these South Africans, they looted their things. As they are sending them out, they are looting their things. To tell you how unserious they are. So it will
Let's round up
definitely hit back
on this on South Africa. So what's the way forward
for
for the situation we find ourselves in South Africa? Should Nigerians
our
think of going
evacuated
back to South
brothers.
Africa again?
Pardon?
Should Nigerians think of going back to South Africa anytime soon? Because they may solve this problem and we decide to go back again. What's your advice?
No, I will never advise anyone to think of going back to South Africa. The only thing that I will advise is that business that you're doing there, try and start it here. This
And we
is
have
your
insecurity
content.
here. You start up your business. Are you safe?
You don't have a choice. You don't have
All
a
die
choice
and
than to
die.
start something. You don't have a choice.
All die and die.
That is it. You don't have a choice. So you can't just. Yesterday, I saw that the Imo State government, those that were evacuated, those from Imo State, were given 1 million naira each to
On
start
paper,
something.
audio, or real.
I don't know. And
Okay.
MTN
But
again,
it's a good gesture. Is 1
yes,
million
it's a
enough?
good gesture. Then MTN gave them 100,000 with starter packs
To
to
do the
start
charge card
doing
or what?
something. With I think is they said 50,000 naira recharge card.
And with no COP and money points, maybe they'll start giving them POS stands to start with.
So that is that. No one should think of going
Imagine a
back.
millionaire or a billionaire coming back empty to come and start POS business, come and start MTN business. This is terrible.
You must humble yourself if you really
To
want
start
to.
again.
Yes.
So this brings me back to our country, Nigeria. We talk about the insecurity. We talk about doing business in Nigeria. So should we stay back, fight and develop our country, then going out at the end of the day, you come back empty again? We all have a role to play. I think Mr. Chabanya is having network problem. Once your network is okay, we'll continue from there. So if you've been participating in what we're saying, this is June 12th, 27 years of democracy in Nigeria. We have looked at the insecurity, looked at the situation of Nigerians in South Africa. We looked at the economy, and we'll continue to talk about these things. And I have Mr. Chabanya joining me all the way from Kaduna, and we've been talking for the past 1 hour. I'm sure I'm correct. You're in Kaduna. Okay, the network seems to be fluctuating. But we're talking about a lot of things here. It's June 12th. You can drop your comments. You can make a contribution on the post. You can also join this meeting currently. We're live. Just go to Frederick Prayer. You see the Zoom meeting link. You can join the meeting. If possible, I can still drop the link on this post. So I think Mr. Chabanya is having network issue. He has dropped his call. Until he comes back, let me take one or two messages. So we're still live on Facebook. So you can join the comments. I have this one from Elijah Bingel. He says sad reality is a very sad one, what we are having currently in Nigeria. So a lot has happened, and the president has given his speech. I don't know if you agree with the president on his speech. What's your take on the president's speech this morning? If there are areas you disagree with the president, you can drop your comments on the session. We'll take it from there. So feel free, make a comment. You can join this meeting live. For now, we have 30 minutes to continue, then we'll go off. This is June 12th, 2026, and Nigeria is 27 years. How is democracy in your area? Are you feeling democracy? Are you enjoying democracy? There's a song by Timaya that says, Pity for us by politicians. So they promise to bring the change, but this is not what they promised us. I think it's far better for you today. Look at the minimum wage in the country, 70,000 naira minimum wage. Is it fair enough? Can it take you? A kg of gas currently is about 1,850 naira. And you have to get like 12 kg for a month, depending on your family size. So how are you faring with the cost of living across the states? Talk about electricity. The estimated bills are becoming something else. Even those are prepaid. You spend like 5,000 in a day consuming electricity. Since most of the meters are doctored for those that are using prepaid meters, a lot, a lot, a lot. You go on the streets, everybody's trying to outsmart the next person. The next person want to be in charge, the next person want to outsmart the next person. The cost of living is becoming unbearable. But when you go to the market, I think the price of certain food items are still affordable to some extent because the price have not really changed. If you look at from last year to now, I think the price of rice, groundnut oil, palm oil, Maggi, and the rest of them have remained relatively stable. But pepper, tomato continue to go through the roof. Currently, you can buy 500 naira pepper that can make a small pot of soup for you. You have to even go as far as buying like 1,000 naira. Just pepper currently. And when last did you see 200 naira notes in your area? When last did you see 100 naira notes or 50 naira notes? It seems like we have more of 1,000 naira notes everywhere now. When you enter the bikes, you want to pay them maybe 700. They tell you they don't have balance, they don't have change to give to you. You have to either do transfer for them because everywhere seems to be dominated by the 1,000 naira notes. A lot is happening. It's June 12th, 2026, and the president has given his speech. The governors will be giving their speech in their different states. 27 years of democracy. Are we practicing democracy in Nigeria? Is there rule of law in the country? Our security agencies, do they respect the rights of Nigerians? Do they respect your rights? Do you have the right to go to court? Are the courts still for the common man on the streets, or is now for those who can afford the prices, who can afford to pay for justice? These are the questions Nigerians are asking. 27 years down the line, those who fought for democracy, when they wake up, when they look at what Nigeria is today, would they be happy that they sacrificed their life for the democracy we are celebrating? Let's look at from the era of Obasanjo, 27 years down the line. Obasanjo started this democracy on the 29th of May, 1999, when he became the first civilian elected president under this current republic. From there, Obasanjo did 8 years in office. He had several impeachment threats. At a point, he paid for the debt relief of Nigeria. He was able to secure debt relief. He had a plan for Nigeria 2020 that Nigeria will be among the top 25 or 20 country economically in the world. Down the line, 20 years after, is Nigeria there? Obasanjo left the scene by awarding contracts for some electricity projects running over $16 billion to do that, if I'm not mistaken. The current administration under Tinubu and Buhari criticized him every time they talked about electricity, that where the power. But late President Muhammad Buhari even asked the question that where is the power after spending $16 billion? Where is the power? Then Obasanjo left the scene. Yar'Adua came in with the promise of 10,000 megawatts by 2010. Unfortunately, he didn't live to complete his administration. He died 3 years in office without achieving that. 10,000 megawatts as of 2010. Nigeria was promised 10,000 megawatts. Today, we're in 2026, 16 years after. We are still talking about 5,000 megawatts of electricity in Nigeria. Currently, when APC were campaigning in 2015, they promised to add 10,000 megawatts of electricity every year in the first 4 years of their administration. That they are going to give Nigeria 40,000 megawatts at the end of Buhari's first year in office. Throughout Buhari 8 years, nothing was added significantly to the power sector. We kept having great collapse every now and then. Buhari left the scene. The current president in his campaign said, by any means necessary, I'm going to give you electricity. That if I don't give you electricity, stable power supply and unestimated billing, don't vote for me when I come back. We're in less than a year to the next election. As the president fulfilled that promise. As I speak to you, I'm currently on a solar power system. You hardly see electricity. For the past 5 years, I've lived where I am currently. There is no electricity. When the current comes, you can't use it to power anything in the house. You would rather damage your appliances than to use it to work for yourself. So there's a lot of issues to talk about when it comes to energy. We are 3 years into this government. There seems to be no electricity, and the cost of electricity has gone up over and over. The government keep increasing it, promising that once they increase the power, the electricity will be stable, that you'll be able to have more electricity. But do we see that? No. Now, when you go to the economy, the cost of living, going to work, going to the market, you spend 5,000 just going out. So going out is more expensive now than staying at home, because if you go out, you are not likely to even come back with something because there is nothing for you to even do. So you're spending money and money is not coming in. You stay at home, you are bored. You need to buy data to be online to be happy, because for you to be happy in Nigeria currently, you have to have subscription, and it's not cheap. The least megabyte you have is between 3.5 gig and the rest of them. You'll be spending like 3,500 to have the least megabyte to be online. If you want to have a reasonable form of data, you have to be spending up to like 14,000, 15,000 monthly. That's the least I spend on data every month. So you can imagine what Nigerians are going through. And someone says he's paying you 70,000 naira. The governors have proposed for 100,000 minimum wage. Labor is kicking against it. That is not reasonable. This is the same labor that came up with 600,000 minimum wage. Only ended up to negotiate for 70,000 minimum wage. At the end of the day, the governors have proposed 100,000 minimum wage. The same labor is saying is not visible, that is not acceptable. And I hope and pray that the labor will not go back and negotiate for 80,000 naira minimum wage, because when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in the opposition, he constantly said he was going to give Nigeria a living wage. On several occasions, whenever he was asked questions as an opposition leader, he said the current minimum wage in the country as of then was nothing to write home about, that the country needs a living wage. And this man is president for the past 3 years. What we have is not a minimum wage. What Nigeria currently have is a dead wage. 70,000 cannot take care of any sane person for 2 weeks. What are you going to buy? A tuber of yam in the market is the least you can get is between 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. So how many are you going to buy to feed a family of 4 or 5? You go to buy meat. Back then, you even buy meat. If you've lived in Jos, you buy meat in kg. They weigh it for you. Unlike people in the south that they go to the market and say, I want to buy 1,000 naira meat, 500 naira meat. They just cut some pieces and give to you. In Jos, I don't know if they do that thing now. It's scaled for you in kilo and you pay. But I'm sure to get a kilo of meat in Jos should be around 10,000 plus. If I'm not mistaken, someone in Jos can confirm for me. So it's terrible. You go to the market to buy meat, 2,000 naira, that you're giving just 6 pieces. A crate of egg currently is about 5,700, 6,500, depending on the size you're looking for. Chicken that we used to buy for 750, 500, that chicken goes for 14, 13, 10,000 currently today. So how many are you going to eat in a month with 70,000 naira? Okay, let's say the chicken is too expensive. Can you buy fish? The cheapest fish you can get in the market today, ice fish, is 3,500, 2,500. So how many are you going to buy to feed your family in a month? So the list goes on and on and on and on. And Nigerians are asking for questions. Do our leaders have conscience? Well, do our leaders have conscience? What you use to fuel your car for 2 hours is what you're paying somebody in a month. And even at that, most governors are not paying. It's terrible. I think it's a special day, it's Democracy Day, whether we like it or not. This is the only country we have. We don't have another country, but we must begin to speak. We must begin to call our leaders accountable. Talk about state police. The governors should not use the state police for their selfish gain. When it's time to send security agencies against opponents, you have powers, you have rights to send them for your opposition opponents. But when it comes to send these security officers to protect the lives and property of the people, you tell us that you're handicapped, you don't have what it takes to command them, that you cannot command a fly. So who is ordering the arrest of citizens when they make wrong statements or when they make statements that you feel they are not in line with yours? You send the security agents against them and they go after them, pick them up. Then you have authority. When it's time to protect lives and property, you don't have authority to send the security agents to protect the lives of people. It's time we have state police, because it's very, very important we have state policing in this country. But it should be used, the framework, the legal framework for that should be properly done. Where these forces, of course, they will abuse it, because we see that in INEC at the state level. Once a party is in charge, everybody that contests on that party wins the election, because those results are written months before the election. It's just a ceremonial occasion just to announce winners. We have autonomy, local government autonomy currently, that the president even made in his speech. That local government autonomy, he has been able to push that. But Mr. President, you are still playing politics with that. Why not use the same energy you use in the tax reform, though the tax reform has not really been implemented, but is in operation? Why not use the same vigor to ensure that local government autonomy take place? You're waiting till after the election. Why do we play politics with good things? You've been talking about state policing for years since you came into office. Why is it taking you so long to push the same way you push for the national anthem to be changed between 24 hours? Why is it that we know what to do and we don't do it in this country? My name is Ray Frederick. This is much I can take for today. We want to thank you for joining us, and I want to thank Mr. Chabanya Kantiak for keeping to his promise to join the meeting, though he had network issues and he couldn't stay to this point. I would have loved to take him on the current political situation in the country. The campaigns will soon start because most of the parties have started submitting their candidates for the next general election. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is much I can take for today. We'll come back to talk about politics as the days goes by. And the World Cup is on. For lovers of sports, it's a shame that we're not able to make it to the World Cup, because it seems like there's no World Cup happening because Nigeria is not there. Some of us are just struggling to follow up with what is happening, but we're not excited because it would have been interesting if Nigeria is participating in this World Cup. And we would have talked about the role the current president of the United States of America is playing in this current World Cup. So for sports lovers, maybe we can have a discussion on the current World Cup, the charisma, the downs and ups side of the World Cup. So I think we'll fix the date between now and Sunday. We can have something like that to talk about when it comes to the World Cup. So do have a lovely day. It's Independence Day, like Democracy Day. We have no other country to call our own, so we must all join hands. Running out of the country will not solve this situation, will not solve the problem, because when you go out there and become prosperous from the Bible days to now, you can see that the people in those places will gang up against you and want you to leave your properties. So it's better you stay back home, work, and ensure that we hold our leaders accountable, because we have nowhere to run to. Nobody will chase us out of Nigeria. They can only take our lives because our government is not doing anything. But until we start to hold our government accountable, but we have nowhere to run to. So those of us in Nigeria, we must brace up, speak up. And when you see those who are speaking on your behalf, support them. Join them to speak. Don't be the one. You are the one suffering the most, and you are the one condemning those that are speaking for you. Sometimes people who come out to speak do not even really suffer what you're suffering. They are okay, but they don't like the fact that those who they are speaking for keep coming to them for help when there is a government in place. That's why most times those people speak. But when they speak, the same people that you're speaking for come after you. We must help ourselves in this country. When you call out the president, everyone wants to speak. Everyone, hey, the president is a bad man. But when you call out the governor, the same people retract. They don't want to speak about their governor. If you say, let's have a protest now, you see the whole country coming out to protest against the president. Once you say, let's protest against the local government chairman, let's protest against the governor. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to call their councillors to order. Nobody wants to call the local government chairman to order. Nobody wants to speak ill of the government or to call the government to be accountable to them. Until we start seeing politics locally, Nigeria will never develop, because what most of these governors are receiving is far, far beyond what some countries in Africa are receiving as their budgets for the year, you must hold your governors accountable. You must ask them questions. There's a lot of resources that this government said he has released to the governors. Why are we all focused on the president? What are the governors doing in your states? What is the road transport system like in your state? Do we have rail system in your state? Are the roads okay? Do you have water? Everybody is producing their own water now in Nigeria. There's nothing like water board in Nigeria. There's nothing like public transport in most of the states. Look at the buses they're even providing, and they feel that they are doing something for you. They're analog buses. So we need a lot to do. There is money in this country. Don't let anybody deceive you that Nigeria is not rich. Nigeria has a lot of money. What we have are just wicked politicians, heartless leaders. I don't call them leaders, I call them rulers. Because leaders look for the good of their people, but rulers rule over the people. With this, do have a lovely day. Good night, good afternoon, wherever you are joining me from. Bye-bye.